And we're joined now by political analyst Asanda Ngoasheng for a discussion on some of what came out of that Gauteng Congress. Asanda, very good evening to you. Good to talk to you. I'm just listening to Helen Zille say she can venture a guess that the ANC will die within her lifetime. And we know that there have been predictions made about her possibly being president of the country. Tera Lekota once had to eat his hat. Do you think that this is something Helen Zille might be forced to do?
She's definitely going to eat her hat because she's not going to be the president of South Africa at any point in this lifetime, or at least her lifetime.
And the ANC dying, we've heard predictions from many pundits who say it is imploding and one day it will finally be something that is far from what we know now as the ANC.
So the ANC is in decline. That doesn't mean that we're going to wake up and post-2024 there won't be an ANC. The ANC is losing votes at a fast pace, but it's still going to be, if it loses and goes below 50%, it's still going to be a formidable force. It's still going to be the majority opposition party, because you're looking at an ANC in Gauteng, for instance, where they won by just over 50% versus a DA which only received 27%. And so the DA got almost half. Just a little over half of the votes that the ANC got. And further to that, you must understand that the DA also lost 3 seats in the Gauteng province. And on top of that, you also have a DA which has been, in government in Tshwane since 2016. That is almost 10 years of governance. And when you look at where Tshwane is, and you look at where city of Johannesburg, which they criticize is that's ANC run, there's actually very little difference. I was in Tshwane the other day, and there are piles of sand on the road. There's there's abandoned work all over the place. There is there seems to be illegal dumping that doesn't then get cleaned, and the same level of degradation that you're seeing in the ANC run Johannesburg, you're seeing it in the Tshwane run municipality of Tshwane. And so my question is, what really are the people of, if people are being said to choose the DA because it's a better government, how is it a better government? Because it's not showing that in Tshwane when we compare Tshwane to Johannesburg. Just yesterday, we have reports of 3 contractors who died while they were trying to fix a sewer pipe. Just like we had reports of somebody else who died in Johannesburg because there was a pipe burst. And so I'm really struggling to find, this comparison that the DA keeps making and claiming that they are better than the ANC. The ANC is losing power at provincial level and at national level. The DA is losing power at provincial level and at national level. In the Western Cape, which is their stronghold, at the last election, the DA lost by 5%. And so people are saying they are done with incumbent political parties, that they want a new kind of politics, that they want new ideas and fresh thinking about how we can solve the problems of South Africa. And so I think that what the DA keeps missing is that actually its fate is very much that of the ANC. And in fact, this divisive engagement in racial baiting is the worst thing that they should be doing, saying that the EFF stands for racism, when in fact they are the ones who are standing for racism, and they are the ones who have Helen Zille, clapping hands for a person who has been chasing every other diversity trainer in this country. That is the level of racism that the DA has, that they have entire teams dedicated to chasing away people who are trying to help solve the problems of this country. And so it's fascinating also that the same Msimanga who has been elected now became mayor of Tshwane because of the EFF. He got the EFF's vote and push in order for him to be Tshwane in a coalition government in 2016.
So, Asanda, let me jump in and ask about that.
Now saying is racism.
You speak about Msimanga, and I wanted to actually reflect on what Kumo Ramulifo had said when contesting this position. He said that he believes that it's time for new ideas. He said that it's time for someone with integrity and credibility. Now, I'm wondering, all of the things that you've said, what is then the belief of the groundswell within the Democratic Alliance? There have been criticisms pointed at the DA that if you look at the leadership, particularly at the highest, at the helm, it's white. But that if you look at the people who are dancing and shouting and who are voting for these positions, they're generally more black members. Is that unfair criticism? And did Kumo Ramulifa have, a point to make, but why was he not voted for? Is it because there's not belief in that suggestion?
Well, Soli is not exactly the cleanest character. That's why I keep saying I'm struggling to find the difference between the DA and the ANC at this point, because their politicians behave the same. Like many ANC people who have been accused of sexual harassment, Soli was also accused of sexual harassment, and that kind of disappeared and went away without any clarity really being provided. He's also the same guy who was beaten by somebody who then claimed to be his cousin's business partner. And that kind of also, disappeared without any questions being answered about that. And so I agree, with Kumo that Swali is a questionable character. And to try to present him as anything but is really just disingenuous on the side of the DA. And I believe that, the DA, they talk about being a democracy, but we all know, we've all seen it, that Helen Zille rules the DA with an iron fist. That's why she was elected unopposed and literally has been in power to a point where she was a premier, then she was this, then she was that, and she's still at the helm so many more years later. She's probably the longest running, leader of the DA, and is actually very much like all those that she criticizes, who don't give others the possibility and the option of leadership. I heard her talk about how the DA is working very hard to make sure that to make sure that everybody can reach heights that they haven't even reached, when she's sitting the top and she's making all the decisions. A white woman who has been in power for so long has been making decisions and has been kicking out black people left, right, and center. Phumzile confirmed that part of the reason why she left was because of Helen Zille. Lindiwe has not the Sisulu, the other Lindiwe confirmed the same. Patricia DeLille confirmed the same. And what we're seeing is that the DA has a tendency of using black people to garner popular vote, and then as soon as those people rise to the top, they find a way to kick them out. Where's Mpho of the city of Johannesburg? We were told that she was a rising leader who was going to take Gauteng, to the next phase. Where is she? She's disappeared. Where is?
Why do you think that is? Because that was something that I wondered, Asanda. The fact that Dr. Mpho Phalatse was actually ready to contest the position of federal leader, yet while she was mayor here in Johannesburg, we don't see her contesting this position of provincial leader. Why do you think that is?
She's paying the cost of having challenged John Steenhuisen, who is Helen Zille's lackey and Helen Zille's chosen golden boy. And this is the problem that we have, that Helen Zille pre-selects all of the leadership of the DA, and everybody else just gets used as voting fodder to come and rubber stamp. That's why she keeps emphasizing democracy, because she feels guilty about the fact that that political party has no democracy whatsoever. You cannot have a democracy when you have one leader who is so influential and who actually has no gripe, showcasing how arrogant she is, how racist she is, and how uncaring of the condition of South Africa and the state, and the link between our history and our present, and how race continues to play a very big role that the DA wants to claim it shouldn't. And it continues to play a very big role that the DA wants to claim we should be ignoring, even as the majority of South Africans who are poor are black. Majority of South Africans who are unemployed are black, and that is not just a function. That's not just a coincidence. That is because we still are embroiled in a system of the legacy of apartheid, which the DA refuses to address.
Asanda, we have run out of time, but I'm going to ask you to be very, very brief and comment on this. John Steenhuisen saying that the ANC a vote for the ANC is a vote for the EFF. No doubt Ms. Zille would have a few choice words for the criticism that you've laid at her feet. But a statement like this, is this reductionist about the role that the EFF, the third biggest party in this country, is playing, particularly if Helen Zille is saying the DA is within a spitting distance of becoming the biggest party in Gauteng?
They are far from a spitting distance. You can't, 50% and 27%, not a spitting distance, first of all. And secondly, they are running scared. Obviously, the EFF is showing them flames and they are unable to handle the pressure. That's why they're doing what they're doing, because they might as well. I mean, they are going into a moon pact. Is a vote for the DA the same as a vote for Action SA? Is it the same as a vote for the Freedom Front Plus? Is it the same as a vote for the IFP? Because, they are pushing for coalition government, but they are criticizing others for engaging in conversations about coalition, which is the hypocrisy of the DA. That's what the DA does. They are hypocritical and they criticize others for doing exactly what they do.
Thank you so much for your time and insights. Asanda Ngoasheng, political analyst, just speaking to us about the outcomes of that DA Gauteng Electoral Congress. Msimanga re-elected as provincial.